your sharing your testimony is to glorify God and to make it easy for someone else. I'm so excited to be talking about God and the spiritual level of Him being Jehovah Rapha, our healer. The essence of the bruises, the essence of the nail in His hand, the nail on His feet, dying, so that whoever is sick can be made whole, whoever is weak can be strong. It happened to me in a blink. It wasn't pre-planned. There was no plan. Every day went on as usual. I'm sharing this testimony because, I feel it will make someone realize that our lives, as we are standing as ambassadors for Christ, at any level which we are doing it, operating from, whether from up there, whether from here, whether from here, whatever state you find yourself operating in, you are on a journey. And each of those steps will finally get you to where God wants you to get. So yeah, some people can be longer on the journey. Some people might be faster, depending on where they find themselves, who they find themselves with, where they find themselves. But ultimately, we will get there. On Thursday was a normal day for me. In fact, it started from me even rejoicing at about 2 o'clock because we had a lot of issues on this trip with our Nigerian bank. A message came through and said, again, the bank has released some part of the money again, because it just kept on withholding money, something I haven't heard before. This is my first time of experiencing it. I'm like, thank God, thank God, thank God, thank God. At least I can go and do something meaningful today. I'm tired of just going and coming. So I was excited about that. And there I was, off I went. So it was a normal day. I spent all the day there. My son had gone for a weekend over at his own space with the boys. So I told him, okay, meet me halfway. Let me wait for you here. Let's meet halfway. So he came, we met halfway. So we had lunch together. So we would go home around past 8, thereabouts, to 9. I just sat down and I felt this very sharp pain, on my right side down. I said, could it be the stress of walking about and all of that all day? Okay, let me just go lie down. Let me just, undress and just go lie down a little bit. I laid down and this pain just went from 0 to 100. I had to call my husband immediately. I said, Bonnie, where are you? Please, I am not okay. I'm feeling so uncomfortable. And a doctor friend of ours happened to be in the neighborhood. I said, and that he was even with, doctor. This is what I was like, nice. He said, what's happening to you, madam? I'm like, I'm not feeling too good. I'm feeling some very sharp pain. And I just said, okay, let me come up and see how you're doing. And he came up. He asked me a few questions. I told him. He said, okay, just rest and give me the tablets. Just chill and let's see how it goes. But if I leave and anything else happens, you feel this pain even more, please call the ambulance. So this was happening around 10, 11. So from the time he gave me the medication, I felt, okay, let me bear it through. But before you know what was happening, the first thing that happened, I had a throat, a very massive one. I said, maybe after this I'll feel better. Maybe my stomach is not agreeing to something I ate, so maybe I'll end up feeling better after doing the thing. But when I did that, it didn't feel any better. That was how the night started. The pain was from 0 to 200. I have never in my life experienced that kind of pain. That's why when my friend that has ulcer or anything is crying or complaining, I just pray, because I don't even know what kind of pain is. But I think maybe people who have experienced an ulcer, like an acidic, high tension acidic pain, might be able to understand the kind of pain I'm talking about. That I went from 200, like 0 to a 200 in a few hours. It's nothing. In fact, when the paramedics was asking me, how does it feel like a labor pain? I'm like, labor pain. God is so mindful of us that labor pain cannot take you from 0 to 200. Labor pain is progressive. It progresses. It comes, it goes. This one does not come and go. It's progressing. It's like off the charts. I wasn't talking this much. I couldn't stand on my own. I couldn't sit. If any move I made, the pain would trigger the pain. It was horrible. Now the ambulance has been called. They are still on their way. So instantly I told my son, call your uncle. Call him now. I heard his voice, his roar. I started praying, and I said, call him so that he can pray over the oil, because I had an oil at home. So, but then I wasn't in the mood to pray over an oil again. So he called him, and I heard him praying over the oil. He said, go and anoint your mother, anoint her head, anoint her feet, anoint her hand. And there I was, just mumbling in the spirit. I was going through that pain, but at the same time, I knew on this journey, whatever it is, I was not alone. But I knew I did not want to get into that ambulance without being anointed. So my son did the anointing immediately, anointed my head, my feet, my hands, and everywhere before the paramedics came in. The next thing, once he was done with that, wasn't too long, the paramedics just knocked on the door. We drove to the hospital. When we got to the hospital, that was now around maybe like 1 a.m. After 1 to 2, the pain was still there. So instantly they were able to do something about the pain there and there. So I just laid there. But of course, because they've done something, you're waiting for it to kick in. While I was waiting for it to kick in, I was still praying. I just told my son, I said, please, can you connect to the Wi-Fi in the hospital? He said yes. So immediately he did that. He put my earpiece on my ear. And of course, I went straight to my Bible. And there I was, while I was groaning in that pain, my Bible was playing on my ear. I never lost my focus. I never lost my cool. I was wondering what could be the worst, because it felt like I've never felt this kind of pain before. So what is this thing now? So there I was at about 3. The drug took effect. I started calming things down. And I looked at my 2 boys. My son was sitting there. My son was sitting there. He had had a long day from his friend's house. Nobody had slept. And I looked at them. I said, look, I'm surrounded with doctors. Don't think you people can do that. We're sitting here. You won't do anything for me. You guys should go home. Of course, they were resistant. They didn't want to. I said, but I'm feeling better. So I think you guys can go home. And I'll need some things in the morning. But they left. Immediately I saw their bags. And I said, the pain came back again. Gee, I screamed out this time. They ran towards me. What is it, madam? I said, the pain is back again. So they gave me something else again to calm me down. Again, I didn't let fear kick in. I didn't question why I was there, whatever it is. I was just thinking in my head. All I was saying is, why is God allowing me to go through this? What is this about? Because I know I was fine a few hours ago. So what is the lesson? What is this story? What is this lesson? What is this journey for? There will be a reason. So I started asking the Lord. I said, Lord, what is it? I know that you're here. I know that I'm going through this for a reason, but I want to know the reason so that it will be useful when someone else will hear. I will be able to tell the reason why. So remember, 1 a.m. till about 5 thereabout. So till about 6 a.m. in the morning, there was a calm all over my body. I'm like, what's going on here? So when this doctor will come, what will I say? I was just there meditating, but at the same time, I was telling God, thank you for healing. Thank you for this pain that was so much that I felt just now. At about 10 in the morning, one lady, one beautiful doctor, Indian doctor, walked in. Said, hello, Mr. Omar, how can I help you this morning? What was your complaint? What brought you in last night? And there I was explaining, trying to now visualize all the areas that I was feeling the pain and telling her. She said, I've seen your blood work, and right now there's nothing in your blood work. I can't find anything wrong with you, really. So have you felt this kind of pain before? I'm like, no. She said, okay, you know what? I can't find anything in your blood. There is nothing to show why you had that pain. So I'm going to go through your day. So what did you do throughout the day? So I said, oh, I did this, I did that. They said, okay. Now we're going to add something to this test. You're going to give us a urine sample because we want to go further. Because everything we've asked you has been fine so far. The test result is fine so far. There's nothing there. Again, she came back and said, you know what? There's nothing in the urine. So, but why am I telling this story so nicely like this after going through a 200/100 pain? Is that I asked God, what is in this story? First thing I took away from the story was a wait time. Again, God is talking about the patience of waiting. That wait time. So when it looks like there was nothing happening in a hurry, when you think you're waiting, or when you think time is going, or when you think, why is this thing not happening now? That wait time, it's when God is doing it. So that wait period will just remind me of the story of the chicken sitting on the egg for the egg to hatch. The chicken has to sit. Now, it doesn't know whether it will hatch or it will not hatch, but the procedure that it needs to sit on it and wait for that number of days before the chick will come out.